Okay, hold on. Hi, I'm Geri, and I'm the co-owner of Baon Kainan, a Filipino Food Cart in Portland, Oregon. And I am originally from Oak Harbor, Washington.
Okay. 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 Hi, I'm Ethan. I'm a co-owner of Baon Kainan, and I'm originally from Silverdale, Washington.
Food has always been a way to also understand our surroundings, because I grew up in a military family and we lived in a lot of different places, and so food was a way to learn and learn with each other. We would have a lot of Filipinos come to our cart looking for a specific dish or kind of commenting whether we're cooking authentically or inauthentically, and you know, sometimes it would like grind our gears because you know, why isn't it enough that we are Filipinos and we're making the food and that's authentic in itself? But I think over time I realized that when people come to eat Filipino food, they are coming for a connection to our heritage and our culture, and so I think I understand that at a deeper level.
My mom is from Pangasinan. My dad is from Hong Kong. I was born in Olongapo. My dad was in the Navy, was stationed in the Philippines for a bit, and then he found a church there to attend, and that's where my mom was at. He proposed to my mom, but my mom said no. My dad started like seeing someone else, and then he was about to propose to her. But then,
drama.
Yeah. But then I guess somehow, some way, my mom found out. She reached out to my dad and said, "I'm ready to marry you now."
Oh, well, my mom's from Samar. My mom in her mid-20s traveled to Greece with her dance troupe. They were all Filipino dancers. When she traveled to Naples, she actually did find a Filipino community there. She quit dancing because she just wanted to live in Naples and wanted to live her best life as a young 20-something with her girlfriend. So I was just kind of the baby of my mom's friend group. Actually, that's one of my first food memories, is all of them in my mom's small kitchen trying to recreate longanisa, so making the sausage from scratch. I just have memories of all of them being in the kitchen, just trying to decipher the different ingredients that were available to them in Italy, because they didn't have Filipino stores, let alone Asian grocery stores. My mom has a funny story of her like actually acting out a chicken because she didn't know how to say chicken in Italian. From there, my mom ended up dating a military man, and he ended up marrying my mom. He adopted me, and then he brought us to the States. The first place that we lived was South Carolina, and then we moved to Virginia, back to Italy for a while, and then we moved to Hawaii, and then our last station was in Oak Harbor, Washington. I spent high school in Italy, and then I spent a little bit of high school in Hawaii, which was like some of my funnest years. I really enjoyed high school in Hawaii. There's a huge Filipino community in Hawaii, so I really am so grateful for those years. I know that moving was hard for my family, but I'm actually really grateful that we got to do that. I definitely think it shaped who I am. It's given me the ability to just appreciate people from a lot of different backgrounds, and also appreciate what makes me unique.
We started Baon in Seattle, and we started off with just our friends and family. Or we met some friends, Richard and Sophia, who own Mata. Him and Sophia came up to Seattle and had our food. And was like, hey, you should move down to Portland, open up a food cart. And that kind of got us thinking like, okay, like maybe we should do a food cart. We did a couple of pop-ups, collaboration menus with them. We decided like, yeah, I think we can do it. I think we can make some moves in Portland.
Every time we've visited Portland, it's always been a different pace, a little slower, more creative. There was never a time that we didn't feel like we weren't meeting someone who was super creative or doing their own thing, and that was very celebrated here in Portland. I love that it's not a big sprawling city, although you can experience some city life, but you can also experience all of the amazing outdoors. It just gave a really nice balance.
Part of the job that I love is being able to feed people. I want our food to like open up a conversation too. Maybe next time I try to make Filipino food, like I could do it this way. For me, like there's no right or wrong way to do it, as long as the intentions are there.
I love talking about Filipino food, especially to people who aren't Filipino, to just kind of educate them on the different ingredients and like the flavor profiles of Filipino food. Even with some Filipinos who actually haven't grown up with a lot of Filipino food, we've gotten a lot of people like that who are like, yeah, I haven't really been able to experience that in my life just because they come from blended families or they were adopted or things like that. Like Ethan said, it's just opening up that conversation and just sharing not only our perspective, but the overall Filipino food history. On the other side of that, what I don't like is the misconceptions that come with Filipino food. Some customers can actually be so rude sometimes and be like, what even is this? Or I don't know, it's the tone. So I don't really like that when people kind of buy into the misconceptions or the myths behind Filipino food. And I won't take the time to repeat those myths, but those are the things I hate about the job. But the thing that I do love is talking about Filipino food. And so there was always this element of, you know, trying to figure out like what it meant being Filipino and like why did we do the things that we did, if that makes sense, because at a young age you just don't have a sense of what culture is, right? You're just kind of like, oh, I look like these people and we tend to eat this kind of food and we do these things. And so for me, growing up, experiencing Filipino culture, it was such a joy because it was always surrounded, it always focused on food and celebrations. So when we lived in Italy, when we moved back specifically, when I was like 10, 11, we found a Philam association. And so my mom was very active there and we would do a lot of parties and it would be so fun. That's how I met a lot of my best friends. These Filipino parties was truly where I learned the most about Filipino food because there would always be a spread and there were things that my mom wouldn't necessarily cook because she kind of assumed we wouldn't like the food. But like, for example, I had kare-kare and palabok, I think for the first time, and caldereta for the first time at a Filipino party. I loved it. And so when my mom realized like, oh, okay, so you do like Filipino food, which is like, I don't know why I wouldn't, but.
In Silverdale, Bremerton, there's a big Filipino community. And so we would always, you know, go to Filipino parties. Moving from Silverdale to Bellingham, where we went to college, being a part of the Filipino-American Student Association, that was just another like, okay, we found the community there, and then moving down to Portland. For me, it's always been the same thing, like finding the Filipino community and just being there for each other and just like catching up. Like no matter if it's like them like coming to the food cart or us running into each other at the grocery store or at a pop-up or you know whatever. Like it's always a means of making sure that we're all good and things are okay.
We also have a cat, so we're naturally homebodies and we just love hanging out with our cat. He greets us at the door, he talks to us, with words. Just kidding. He's very vocal, so if he needs something, he'll let you know. And he snuggles with us, like he's very affectionate. So yeah, we like hanging out with him. His name is Brie, like the cheese.
Yep.
I think with day-to-day life, it turns out where we can get lost in the sauce and we don't end up doing it as much as we think we could. At least I know that's something I want to get better at. Yeah, so let's just keep showing up for each other.